Another new and major new feature of Field Notes version 3 is the inputting of a frac monitor to calculate out an N2 or CO2 rate for cleanup tests. So as you can see here, we have our table and our plot and our meter configuration bar, and we've inputted the information for our wellhead information. We have our gas meter as well as our fluid meter or oil meter. And from that, we've created our plot. So what we're going to do now is we're going to input our frac monitor to begin our cleanup test. Now what we're going to do is we're going to maximize the table here, and we'll go over to the meter configuration bar. And there are two ways to set up your frac monitor. The first one is when you input your gas orifice meter, there will be a checkbox on the window that says Enable Frac Monitor. And the other way to do it is to simply go to your gas meter heading right here, or gas orifice meter 1 in this case, and we'll right-click on it, and we go and we left-click on Add Remove Processes. And from that, what you have is you get two processes that come up. The frac monitor, which is for your N2 and CO2, or your sour acid gas for your H2S. So in this case, we want to click on our frac monitor. We click OK. And if we scroll over now to our table, you can see that the columns for our frac monitor have now been inputted. Now, if we go back to our gas meter on our meter configuration bar and we click on the plus sign to the left, and you see all your options here, you can see that the frac monitor has now been added under your gas meter. So what we'll do is we'll click on the plus sign to the left of the frac monitor, and you'll get all your options. In most cases, when doing cleanups, you're either producing N2 or CO2. So in this particular case, we'll just simply focus on N2. So we'll uncheck our net gas, we'll uncheck our frac CO2, we'll uncheck our frac CO2 rate, our net gas rate, and our recovered frac CO2, leaving us just with N2. So as you can see, now we have our N2 rate, our frac N2 cum, and we'll take out our N2 gain here. And that leaves us with our recovered frac N2 percentage, total gas, our frac N2 rate, and our frac N2 cum. So now what we'll do is we will close out the meter configuration bar, and we will start inputting comments to begin our test. So our cleanup test. So what we'll do is we'll go to our events column here. If we click on the add events here, we can just simply type in start cleanup test at this particular time interval, in this case, which would be 17:15. And then what we can do is we can come down to our first interval where the well is open to flow at 17:30. And then what we can do is if we go over to our recoverable frac N2 and we put in a percentage. So usually when doing cleanups, when opening the well to flow, you're usually immediately flowing at 99 or 100% of your total gas. And your frac N2 percentage or your CO2 percentage is accurately calculated or accurately measured using a chromatograph. If you do not have a chromatograph, in most instances during production tests, especially with smaller production testing companies, this value is guessed or estimated. So what we'll do here is we will go to our recovered frac N2. We type in 100%, and once we put in our recovered frac N2 percentage, you can see that Field Notes version 3 will automatically calculate out your N2 rate. And as you can see, when I put in 100%, you can see that your frac N2 rate matches your total gas rate. Okay, so as you can see, as we move forward in our test, we can use smaller values. So in this case, the N2 would be depleting rather quickly. So we go to 90%, 80%, and you can see how Field Notes version 3 does the necessary calculations for you. This is a new feature that has been put into Field Notes version 3 based on producers' requirements when getting test information from testing companies, as well as feedback from you, our clients. And as you can see, I'm depleting here. I come down to 40%. And then at the next time interval, we can go immediately down to 1%. And we can put in another comment right here that says end cleanup test. Like so. And then we can come down and we can put in 0 for our recovered frac N2. And then the next line down, or once we're ready to open the well to flow again, we can put a comment in starting our flow test.